Most creators struggle trying to decide whether they should build a low ticket or a high ticket offer, and even within that, what kind of offer they should create. But after working with hundreds of creators and getting my own creator business to over $2 million a year, I can very confidently say that that is the wrong question to ask. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what the right question is to ask and show you what you need to do, especially if you're the kind of creator who wants to earn an actual income from your expertise, regardless of how big your audience is or how big your email list is. Now, first, let's really quickly define what low ticket versus high ticket is. So when I think of a low ticket offer, what I think of is typically courses, ebooks, workshops, just the typical stuff. There's a lot of different kinds of things, challenges, communities. I mean, the list kind of goes on, right? But usually what you're finding here is that these are usually going to cost anywhere from $9 to, I usually cap it out at $500. Now, I know $500 doesn't seem like low ticket to some people. A lot of people will think of that as more mid ticket, but let's keep this a little bit more black and white. Anything below $500, I feel like is pretty low ticket. Now, let's look at high ticket. High ticket, you're usually looking at programs. Usually it has some element of done with you or done for you where you just do it for the person. And the thing with high ticket in terms of price point, this is usually the easiest way to define it, is you're usually charging somewhere between 2K to 5K. I know that leaves a little bit of dead space in the middle here, but that's where kind of the mid-ticket part goes. And a lot of times when you're trying to do marketing for a product, it's much easier to bucket in the type of marketing and how you're going to advertise it, how you're going to get people to buy it. If you just bucket it into, is this a relatively easy-ish purchase for somebody to make where they see something, they're ready to go, pull out a credit card and buy it? Or is this something where, hey, it's going to require somebody to like have a little bit more interaction and actually have a conversation with somebody? And that's usually where the high ticket category comes in. But here's the thing when it comes to making this decision is there is no perfect way to build it up. The difference kind of comes down to what kind of creator that you want to be and what kind of creator business you want to create. So let's kind of contrast two different creators here. If you are creator A, and you're the kind of person who says, you know what, I'm okay waiting 6 months, a year, 2 years before I'm able to actually make a living wage from the work that I'm doing as a creator, then you want to start off with low ticket. And the reason for that is because it's going to take time. You're going to have to post content consistently. Let's say you're using YouTube to do that. You're going to have to build an audience. It's going to take months, if not years. And if you listen to most of the people who talk about building up a YouTube channel as a creator, they're going to tell you the same thing. It's going to take you 1, 2, 3 years of posting consistently. And that's their slogan, for better, for worse. Just stay consistent. Just keep posting. Eventually you'll get there, right? That's what the path for creator A is. You start off with low ticket and you build up your audience, you build up an email list, you launch a low ticket product, or you have one right away, but it's only $9, $30, $40, $50, $100. Usually most new creators start off on the lower end, which is fine. And that's going to be slow growth. You're not going to be able to earn a living wage from doing that. Creator B is the kind of person who says, you know what, I would much rather start earning money now, and I kind of need to earn money now, which was the position that I was in. When I started my creator business, I started going down the path of creator A. I'm going to build an audience first. I'm going to build up credibility. I'm going to build up social proof. I'm going to do all these things that I need to do in order for total strangers that I don't know, who've never talked to me before, never interacted with me, they'll go to a checkout page and they'll just buy something from me. And that sounds awesome. I want that too. And I want that for all of you. This is not an either or decision of I have to be creator A or creator B. But that's what I started off doing. The problem was I couldn't keep doing that because I was married. I'm still married, but I'm married. I had 2 kids when I started my creator business. I have 3 kids now. I couldn't, with a good conscience, look my wife in the face after a year or 2 of trying to do option A and say, hey, I'm sorry, I just have to stay consistent. She would divorce me if I said that. Like, hey, honey, I'm sorry, it's going to take some time, but I just got to stay consistent. Everybody says just stay consistent. It'll happen eventually. It's not going to work because then the burden goes on her. Or even if you're somebody who isn't married or doesn't have a significant other, can you look at your bank account with a straight face and say, well, I just got to stay consistent. I just got to keep doing this. I still have to keep working the job that I hate. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know I can help people, but it's going to take a long time for them to find out who I am and get to that point, right? But with the high ticket offer, what that allows you to do is it allows you to earn an income faster. And I want to kind of destroy two myths that kind of go along with this, because I feel like a lot of creators, when they're starting out, they relish this. Low ticket offer sounds amazing. And what they think is they start worshiping in the altar of being creator A, and almost to a fault, where they'll brag about, oh man, it took me 2 years. It took me 3 years. You got to just stay consistent. You got to work at it. For every one person who stays consistent, 2 or 3 other people will stop. And all of that is 100% true. I'm not saying that's not true, because people will start weeding themselves out. But that therein lies the problem, because a lot of people aren't weeding themselves out from hitting success, building an audience and selling low ticket offers and never having to really talk to anybody. You're really only ever talking to the camera or talking to Instagram or talking to YouTube or whatever. Like, we're worshiping at the altar of this for the sake of easiness. Because a lot of people, what they think, and this is where the myth comes in. Myth number one that a lot of creators have is that selling low ticket offers is easier than selling high ticket. And that is 100% absolutely false. And there's a few reasons why. Okay. Number one, the biggest reason why it's false, to be honest, is that the effort it takes to build up enough of a brand, enough of a credibility to get total strangers to come and buy enough of your low ticket products, right? Think about if you've ever built a low ticket offer funnel, or if you've ever even been to a low ticket offer funnel before. Think about the logistics that went into doing that. You had to have an audience. That creator had to have an audience. They had to have that audience turn into an email list. They had to have that email list turn into buyers of the product, right? So they had to send multiple emails out in order to get somebody to buy that product. Probably months worth of emails before they actually made an offer to their email list. Then they had to create the product. And for a lot of low ticket products, there's a lot of work in creating the product. If you're creating a course, you have to record all the course modules, get them hosted, all that stuff. You have to usually have some element of social proof to go along with it. How many of you guys have seen a low ticket offer landing page that didn't have a huge amount of social proof on it, right? That's a lot of work that you have to do, and a lot of proof that you probably don't even have, right? So if you don't have these things, what are you going to do with default as a creator? Is instead of charging $300 or $400 or $500 for your low ticket product, you're going to start offering it for free, or you're going to charge an insanely low amount for it for the value that it is you're providing, right? So effort is really high when it comes to a low ticket product. It sounds like it's not. The nicest thing about a low ticket offer is that you create it once and it can live forever. But what that also means is probably the worst product that you've ever made. If you create a course and never go back and touch it again, it's probably the worst thing that you ever built. You're going to look back at it 6 months from now, just like the YouTube videos you create or I create. You're going to look back at those 6 months from now and be like, man, those were not very good, right? That's the same thing with any of the low ticket offers that you create. So you're consistently having to update it if you want to stay in the game, right? So that's number one. Number two, in addition to effort being the issue with the low ticket offer, the other issue with the low ticket offer is that it does require that audience. You can't just go out and say, oh, I'm going to have this low ticket offer and think that your YouTube videos that you're still going to start publishing and getting maybe 100 or 200 views if you're lucky, that a good percentage of those people are going to start buying it. Because on average, what you're going to find, and you can do research on this if you want, is like, let's look at YouTube as an example. If you get, this is a lot, but let's say you get 1,000 views on a YouTube video. Typically what you're going to have is about 5% of those are going to turn into email subscribers, which means you're going to have 50 email subscribers. Then out of those 50, you're going to have 3%, and that's usually it's 1 to 3%, 1 to 5%, but let's just say 3. You're going to have 3% of those people buy. And so you're going to have, what is that? 10% would be 5. 1 to, let's say 2 buyers. That's 4%, but let's say 2 buyers, and let's say you're selling the product at, I don't know, $100. We'll play nice, right? $100. So you just made $200 from 1,000 views. How many months is it going to take for you to get to enough to support yourself? Because for most creators, and especially the ones that I've worked with, this isn't enough to live off of. What you're going to need to make is usually somewhere around, like, at the very least, especially in today's economy, right? You're going to need to make at least like 5K. All right. So instead of this number, you have, how many times is $200 going to 5K? That's 5. That's 25. You're going to have 25,000 to make that amount. How long is it going to take you to do that? And I'm not even sure if that math is right. I think it's more than that, but it's like, how long is it going to take you to do that? A long time. A lot of content, a lot of video recording, a lot of editing, a lot of publishing, a lot of emails, newsletters you have to send out, a lot of interaction you're going to have to do, a ton of work, right? So if you think selling low ticket is easier, it's not. Again, I'm not saying that low ticket isn't a good to have. I have low ticket offers too. But the problem with a lot of creators when they're thinking about what they should do is they just default straight to low ticket offers because they think it's like easier for some reason, but it's really not. The other reason why it's not easier, and this is probably the biggest reason it's not easier, is because of the way that an audience works. A lot of creators, what you guys do is you think that this is your audience, just one big group of people, right? And everybody, and I know we have a sense that not everybody's the same in that audience. There's different micro niches within our niche, right? Even if you have you're posting about fitness, for example, right? Well, you're going to have some people who are men and some people who are women. Maybe you niche down to just men, but even in there, you're going to have some who are married and some who aren't, some who have kids, some who don't, some who are blue collar workers, some who are white collar workers, right? But that's not what I mean when I say breaking down the audience. When I say breaking down the audience, this is what I mean. You're going to have 75% of people down here. You're going to have 20% of people in here, and you're going to have 5% of people in here. Whoops. There we go. You have 5% of people in here. These people are the now people. These people are the later. These people are the never. All right. And with those comes monetary value. This group of people, because they're looking for a solution now, they need something now, they're willing to pay a good amount of money for it. The later people, they're willing to pay, a decent amount of money for it. The never people, it's going to be hard to make any money from those people. And I'm not saying you shouldn't build an audience out of all of them because people move from one stage to the other. It happens. I've done that before too. But what a lot of creators do when you guys are creating low ticket offers is you are basically just accepting the fact that I'm only going to be generating money from this group of people here. Those are the kind of people who are going to buy things from $9 to $300. Those are the great low ticket offer buyers. And that's fine. Again, every creator should have a low ticket offer at some point. But if you're trying to make an income and support yourself full-time as a creator, is it better for you to make your entire content lifecycle, your entire brand, your entire business only based off of targeting the people who are only willing to spend small amounts for it? Because again, we looked at the math, right? You'd have to have thousands of people to view your stuff, thousands of people on your email list before you can really start making a substantial amount of income from this group of people. And this group of people here, the now people, they're not going to buy these products. They're just not going to do it. They are the kind of people who are looking for a solution now. Think about, I like to use the weight loss example because it's easy. If there's a guy who just wants to get in shape and he's already in decent shape, but he wants to see his abs more, but there's no other thing to build urgency in that, he's probably in the later category. He'll spend some money. He might buy a book on getting a six-pack abs. He might sign up for some low-ticket fitness program or whatever. But let's say that same guy has a reunion in 3 months, okay, like a high school reunion in 3 months. And he knows that his ex-girlfriend that that cheated on him or whatever is going to be there. So he wants to go there and look incredible, just blow everybody's socks off, right? Do you think he's going to buy a $9 product, a $150 product? Probably not. What he's going to do is he's going to say, look, if somebody can tell me that they're going to sit alongside me, create a diet plan for me, create a fitness plan for me, check in with me every day to hold me accountable, or check in with me every week to hold me accountable, I'm going to be willing to spend $2K to $5K. And I know you might be thinking, oh, that sounds insane. But I've worked with hundreds of creators who have had high ticket offers ranging from done for you vending machine placement to teaching orthodontists how to follow up with their leads better to uh, consultants who help roofers figure out how to sell more roof replacements. Like it's just, there's so many different niches out there. And I even have my own high ticket offer. But those kinds of people who are in this bucket are not the kind of people who are going to buy this stuff. They're going to be, they might find you online. They might see your YouTube video. They might see your organic content. But if they don't see any call to action anywhere to actually get the help they need right now, they're going to bounce and go find somebody else who's going to give it to them. They're not going to click on your link and be like, oh, I guess the only thing they have available is a low ticket course. I guess I'm going to sign up for it. They'd be like, man, dang, I really liked that person. I wish they could help me a little bit more done with you or done for you, like one-on-one. But hey, I guess they don't want to do that. So I'm going to go find somebody else who's going to help me instead. Right. I've seen so many creators leave so many money on the table because they don't have any sort of high ticket offer. And that's a huge mistake, because I bet there are people in your audience right now who, if you did present them with something that was high ticket, a percentage of them would do it. And I know you might be thinking to yourself like, well, that's a small percentage, really small percentage, right? But let's use this math as an example. Let's say you have those 1,000 people, 5% of them end up turning into 50 email subscribers. Those 50 email subscribers end up turning 3% of those people purchase. So you have one purchase, right? Let's say you just added one person out of these 1,000 people were in that top 5%. And so instead of that, just having and presenting to them an email list opt-in or presenting to them a low ticket offer or any of that stuff, you said, you know what, I'm going to have a specific high ticket offer and funnel that's dedicated to those people in the top 5%. I'm going to build it once. It'll take me a couple weeks. Sure, you have to do the logistics of planning out like what is my high ticket offer going to be and all this stuff. I have different videos about that. And if you go to path-to-10k.com, I have a full hour-long walkthrough of the entire system that I use to help creators get to the point where they're making consistent 10K a month. But when, let's say you added just one and it was at 3K, pretty nominal price point. Now, as a creator, if you can do that and you're getting, let's just say 1,000 views a month, instead of just making $200 a month, now you're making $3,200 a month. So it doesn't negate having a low ticket offer. Having a low ticket offer is great. I love low ticket offers. They're nominal work. They can last a while. Sure, you have to go and do some updating and stuff, but not any huge deal. I think a lot of creators just know getting into it that you're probably going to end up having to do that. But when you look at it this way, it's like, I would much rather have this than I would to just have $200 a month, right? That doesn't work for me. My wife would kill me if I did that. So how do you do this then? If we go back to the answer of like, well, should you have a low ticket or high ticket offer first? What's the best path to go down? The question that you need to ask yourself first, the right question is, when you're starting out, do you want to be profitable or do you want to be popular? I know it sounds like a weird question. It sounds very black and white. I think a lot of you would probably say, I want to be both. I want to be popular and I want to be profitable. Of course, everybody wants to be both. I want to be both too. But when I started my business, I went the route of I want to be popular because that'll lead to profitability. But that was the wrong choice. For some people, it's the right choice. Maybe you love your job. Maybe you'd never want to quit. Maybe you just want to earn a few $100s on the side and have no work involved in it other than the content creation. And maybe you just love content creation. You just love creating videos. You just love posting on social. Great. Just build a low ticket offer. Never build anything high ticket. But if you're the kind of creator who wants to make a living off of what you're doing and you don't want to wait 6 months, a year, or 2 years to do it, here's what I would do instead. I would start off with building a high ticket offer first, build the funnel to go along with it and all that stuff. And I'll have a different video here on how that funnel works. And again, if you go to path-to-10k.com, I walk through the entire system. It's an hour long, go through the whole thing. But you want to build a high ticket offer first. And then you want to go ahead and start creating your audience. And then you want to go ahead and build out your low ticket offer while you're building your audience. So it's really more like, instead of looking at it like that, you're really kind of doing it more like this. Whoops. You're doing it more like this. You're saying, okay, I'm going to start with my high ticket offer. I'm going to plan out what that is. It's going to be simple to create. It's going to be productized. It's not going to be a lot of work, because with the high ticket offer, you usually don't have to create 1 million course videos. You don't have to create this overly complicated, landing page. You don't have to go out and build a bunch of social proof or any of that stuff. You just say, hey, I help X person hit this goal within this time period without having to do some of the things that they hate, right? And if that's it, and then you build a simple landing page that talks about that with an application form that gets people to say, hey, that's me, answer some questions, and then let's get on a call and talk about it, right? That's it. And it sits there and lives forever. So while you're building, you create that system while you're building your audience, and you do exactly what normal creators do. You post your YouTube videos, you post it on social media, but you make sure that you have your CTA during that whole time period centered around your high ticket offer until you build out your low ticket offer. So while you're building your audience and you're building up your email list and all those things, you can then go ahead and say, you know what, now I'm going to start building out my low ticket offer. Because the low ticket offer, you can build both of these at the same time, but if you really are trying to generate income as soon as possible, just have the high ticket offer for now, along with maybe an email list opt-in for all those 75 or 80 or 90% of people who are just later or never types of people, to get them onto your email list. But alongside that, 2 links on your profile, 1 link, your homepage or your email list or whatever. Second one is, want help now? Send them to your high ticket offer. That's it. That way, when you are starting to build your audience and you get these people coming in, the now people coming in, they can go ahead and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and book a call with this guy or this girl. I'm going to learn what they can do. Can they help me? What's that all about? And the other link gets all of these people. You have a CTA to join your email list. Maybe your low ticket product isn't ready yet, or you're testing it out, or it's taking time to build it while you're creating content. That's fine. But when you do have your low ticket offer ready, you go ahead and try to sell it to all these people while you're already generating an income, a substantial income from the now people. And that's what I ended up doing. I spent 2 years slogging through trying to figure out how to do just this and just this. And that was a huge mistake. I probably left tons of money on the table. The day that I realized that I had some people in my audience who were willing to pay me more right away for more help, what I did was I created that high ticket offer. Within 3 months, I went from barely enough money to pay for groceries to doing $30K a month. And then we got to 80. And then we got to the point where we were doing $2 million a year. And at some point, you as a creator, because I know some of you were thinking like, man, I don't want to have the hassle of a high ticket offer. You kind of have to choose your heart. I know low ticket offers sound really easy. It's like, well, I just put it up and people buy it, right? But if you've ever built one before, you know it's not that simple. I would much rather deal with the heart of this, at least even temporarily, because what a lot of creators that I work with do is one of 2 things. They'll either start with the high ticket offer, and then they'll build their audience while they build their low ticket offer. And at some point, what's going to happen is your audience is going to get big enough where you can then make the decision. Because once your audience is big enough, your low ticket offer is going to be making enough money to support you, to support your lifestyle, to support your family. It's going to take a while because it's a lot of views, it's a lot of email subscribers, it's a lot of low ticket buyers, and you have to keep pumping that system full all the time. But at some point, the low ticket offer, the amount you're making there, is going to overtake the high ticket offer if you're not trying to actively scale the high ticket offer. If you're just letting it organically grow, maybe you're throwing a few bucks towards ads to the high ticket offer. But other than that, you're just saying, I'm cool with taking 3 to 4 sales calls a week. I'm cool with closing 1 sale a week. And I'm cool with that 1 sale being $2K. So I'm making like $8K a month. I'm cool with that. But once you get to the point where your audience is big enough to where the high ticket offer is making like $8K, but now the low ticket offers, because your audience size is making, let's say, $8K, like you can decide. And a lot of creators that I know either just keep the system going and try to scale both, or they'll just say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want a high ticket offer anymore. I'm just going to shut it down. Or I'm going to outsource it. I'm going to hire somebody for fulfillment. I'm going to hire somebody to do the sales calls for me. Whatever it is that you end up doing is fine. But you can always shut the high ticket offer down. But when you're just starting out and you're really trying to make money and you're trying to generate income and you need to support yourself and you need to support your family or anybody else around you, and you don't want to wait a year or 2 to be able to do it, the best thing that you can do is you want to start with high ticket. You want to build your audience. Then you want to build your low ticket offer. That way you're going after the people who are in that 5% first, and then you can start taking advantage of the people here, because these people won't pay the bills right away. They'll pay the bills later. These people are going to pay the bills tomorrow. All right. So part of this system is actually generating traffic. And if you don't have an audience yet and you've never built an audience yet, that can be a huge problem, because even if you have a high ticket offer that kills it and people love it, if they don't know about it, then you're not going to make any money. So one of the ways that I like my clients to do is to use really, really cheap, low cost ads where they're spending like 10, 15, $20 a day, but it's consistently filling up their pipeline full of that top 5%. And they get on calls and they close those sales. And if you're interested in how those ads work and how simple they can be, this is not complicated, even if you've never ran ads before, then you can click on this video and I walk you through the entire system for creating a really high converting ad and doing it very quickly, so that way you can start generating traffic and supplementing your organic traffic with some paid traffic, which honestly the algorithm really loves when you do that.